Good morning, grade 3. This is Miss Joel, who's going to teach you the last lesson for this academic year. And chapter 11, lesson 2, how business works. In the last lesson, we learned about consumers and producers. Today, we are going to learn about how people how people who have business, how do they work? What do they need to start a business? Okay. Let's see, the objective of this lesson is identify the three types of resources used in a business. So when you start a business, what are the three resources that a person requires? To recognize the difference between human, natural, and capital resources. Identify the types of resources used by a specific type of business. So we are going to understand, like if you are having a particular business, what is a resource that you need for that particular business. Let's go to the summary of this lesson. In this lesson, we will focus on how businesses use resources to make and transport their products and provide their services. They use natural, human, and capital resources to meet the needs of the consumer. And who are the consumers? Consumers are people like you and me. Vocabulary words. The first word is capital. Okay, what is capital? Yes, there are many meanings. Capital is also the capital of the country, right? The main city of the country, the main city of the country is called the capital. But here in social studies, we also have capital, which also means the money used in a business. So when a person is going to have a business or going to start a business, he requires some money. Because if you do not have money, it's very difficult to start a business. So you require some amount of money to start with, and slowly that money that you put in the business, it starts increasing, becoming more and more and more, till you become a very well-to-do businessman or a businesswoman. Next vocabulary word is resource. What do you mean by resource? Resource is an available supply of what can be used when needed. So if we have a business, we need to have the required resources. So it is available to us at any time that we require for our business. The next word is raw material. What is raw material? Raw material is a natural resource that can be used to make a product. Like for example, you can see there are two raw material over here. This is wool and this is cotton. Now this raw material, cotton, is got from trees, right? This raw material wool is got from the hair of the sheep, or the hair of the sheep is called wool. So these are raw material got from sheep and from the plant. Now this raw material is converted into the products that we see over here. And to get the colors of the product, again we use the raw material, that is dye powder, color powder, where these materials are when as the fabrics are being made, these dye powders are used, and we get after a long process, we get the ready product that we can use. Next word is human resource. What is a human resource? Human resources, workers who produce goods and services. Like for example, you have a chef. He is a human resource because he bakes and makes bread for you and for me. He's a fire engine. Fire engine is again human resource because he works for the country. He works to save people. He works in a fire department. Then you have a nurse. A nurse is a human resource. She takes care of a person who is sick in the hospital. Your teachers are human resources because they teach you in the school. So people who work, who produce, okay, who give you a service, they all come under human resource. capital resource. What do we mean by capital resource? Capital resource is the tools and buildings a business uses. Like for example, over here you can see this is some boxes which are used for for storing of things. Here you have a vehicle to carry your things. These are all capital resources. Here you have the scissors and a paintbrush, carpenter's tool. These come all under capital resource. That is human-made goods that are used in production of other goods and services. Like this computer is made by human being. And why do we use this? We use this to store our data, to find out information on Google, on the internet, and we use this computer for our day-to-day life. Especially now when you are doing your online studies, you need the computer. So computer comes under capital resource. The next word we come is factory. What is a factory? A factory is a building in which products are prepared and packaged. So when all the machines are made, okay, the machines are put in the factory. In the factory, these machines produce goods on a large scale, means a large number of goods are prepared at a time. And as you can see the picture, in one place you can see all the bottles are moving in the line. In the other place, the bottles of the Tetra packs are being packed. And in this first picture over here with the blue background, this is a picture of a factory. Here the goods are being packed, and here the ready bottles are going into the boxes. Everything is so systematically done. Manufacture. What is manufacture? To use machine to make something. So you get a lot of products today. All these products are made, are manufactured or are made in a factory. Now in this first picture you can see over here, here they're making pretzels. Pretzels is a lovely, you must be eating it. It's like a cookie, as a salted cookie, is very tasty. Then you have the yummy, delicious ice cream that is getting ready, and it will go into boxes. And here is a Lego set showing you how the machines work in a factory. Now the types of resources. What are the three types of resources we learned just now? Natural resource, or the raw, okay, then you had the human resource and capital resource. Now what comes under natural resource? Under natural resource you have land, you have rocks, okay, the stones and wood. For me, you get the stones, sorry, where you get the wood, you get the woods from the trees. Stones you get from the mountains, from the hilly areas, and the land is a vast flat plains that we find across the earth. Then human resource. Here you have a salesman. Salesmen are the people who sell items or things to you when you go to a shop, right? They are called salesmen. Then you have a factory worker who's making things for you, who's working in the factory to make things better for us, to get the products for us. Here you have the fireman who also comes under human resource because he's giving the service of is lending a service to the people, to the citizen by being a fireman, helping us in need. Then you have capital resource, which is a factory building, a place, an oil derrick is called, where they extract oil from the sea or from the ground. And here you have a carpenter's tool, which is called a saw. Now let us go through the lesson. So we understood the vocabulary word. I will read the lesson and explain it to you. Okay? Lesson 2, how business works. It takes more than just a good idea to start a business, right? Many people like to have their own business, but you just need the right idea at the right time. All businesses use capital or money. They also use different resources. So there are different types of businesses that people have, and every business needs capital. As I told you, every business needs some money to begin, otherwise you cannot have a business. But the resources that you need is different for all businesses. Businesses start with resources. Now what, okay? Businesses use different resources to make products and provide services. Some businesses begin with raw material. What is a raw material? Is a natural resource that can be used to make a product. Some raw material that businesses use are metal, rock, wood, and water. Resources keep a business running. So if you have the resources, the business can continue. Whatever business you, if you have the right business, the resources, your business will keep running and keep going and keep growing. But if your resources are not right, or if your resources are limited, then you could face some type of problems. One business in Wilmore, Kentucky, uses natural spring water that bubbles up in parts of central Kentucky. Okay, now I know you're thinking Kentucky or thinking of something. I can see you smiling. Okay, Kentucky. Okay, now in Kentucky, they have the natural water, okay, springs. Natural spring is the water flowing from the waterfalls, which is pure, clean water. And this particular business, what is their job? The company bottles the water for the people to drink. So the company collects the water and bottles this water, put the waters in the bottles and sell it to the people. So then it sells the bottled water, drinking water to the public. To the public means to the people. See, and you go, like for example, you have Nestle water here, you have Arva water, you have Safa water, right? Now, are these spring water? No, they are good. They are filtered water. They are desalinized. The salt of the water has been removed so that we are able to drink it. So a lot of but in some countries where they have the natural spring water coming directly from the glaciers, directly from the mountain top, where they have the springs where water keeps on flowing. They have bottled water, so these are called as the spring waters. In addition to the natural resources, the business also depends on human resources. So if you have in this Kentucky factory, what is a natural resource? Is the spring water. Now for their business to run, they also need one more resource. And what is that one resource? They need human resource. Human resource are the workers who produce goods and services. Workers at the business collect the water. They clean and bottle it. They also sell and deliver the bottles. So what do the workers do? After the water is collected from the spring, you can see where the natural resource, the water is collected from here. The workers will clean the water, right? They will clean the water, keep the bottles clean. They'll see that the water is filtered, is put into the bottles. And after the water is put in the bottles, they sell it and they deliver the bottles. The business uses capital resources too. Capital resources are the tools and buildings a business uses. These include the machines. Sorry, I clicked it by mistake. These include the machines used to make and deliver products. So, after the bottles are ready for delivery, what happens? The business uses the capital resources, right? So what is the capital resource? Are the tools and the buildings. That is the factory. Okay. And the buildings a business uses. They also include the machines used to make and deliver the product. So comes under capital tool. This truck comes under capital resource because it is used for the delivery of the water bottles. The next we go is to working with resources. Many businesses need a factory to make their products. So, if there is a machine, you need to keep the machine somewhere. So, in the old days, what did they do when the machines were made? First day, I'll just go back, I'll just explain to you something which is not in the book, but I can just explain to you about this. Okay, many about 200 years ago, 200 years ago, people did not have machines like what we have today. They had machines made of wood, and they were used by hand. That was handmade, and every product would take a long time, right? Slowly, people started inventing these handmade machines, wooden made machines, into real big machines. So now, when these machines were made, They could not carry these machines and go from place to place. So they built a room. And slowly these small rooms became bigger and bigger. And these rooms were called, as given a label or a name as the word factory. So a factory is a building in which products are prepared and packaged. So in the factory today, all the products that we require is made in the factory. You go to a shop, you just what you want to say, but where is it made? Where it is packed? It is packed in a factory. Like for example, a yogurt factory in Minster, Ohio, is the largest yogurt producer in the world. Okay. Now this factory, now this factory is what factory is a yogurt factory. So for yogurt, what do you think would be the main resource? The main resource would be milk. The main resource for this factory would be milk. Why? Because this factory is making yogurt. The yogurt factory depends on many resources to stay in the businesses. It uses milk as a raw material to make the yogurt. It uses human resources to run the factories and other capital resources. So here you can see a yogurt factory which is shown over here. You can see the big machines. Now, how are these machines going to run? You need people. Yes, today we have computerized, but still you need somebody to come to handle the computer, right? So you need human resources. So here you have you have the raw material, you have the human resource, you have the capital resource. What is the capital resource? Are the trucks, the factory building, all this comes under the capital resource. And if you can see this picture illustration shows the steps of yogurt making. So number one over here, you see fresh milk arrives from the farm. Number two is the milk is heated, the milk is made hot. Then the yogurt cultures are added to the milk. Yogurt cultures, what is the cultures? The bacteria that is a good bacteria that is put into yogurt in the milk to make the milk form into yogurt. Okay. Then in machine number 4, you have the machines put the yogurt into the container. So once the yogurt is ready, this machine puts the yogurt into the container. In machine number 5, the yogurt is ready to be delivered to the grocery stores. So here is a small picture of a factory for you to understand the process of how the things are made in the factory from the time the raw resources comes to the factory till the product is ready is shown in this picture. Last we go to factory machine. The yogurt factory uses its resources to manufacture yogurt. To manufacture is to use a machine to make something. Machines heat the milk and add the yogurt culture. Again, yogurt culture is the yogurt, good bacteria that is put in the milk to ferment it, to change the milk into yogurt. Sorry. They also fill the yogurt containers. Containers are the boxes and pack them for delivery to the stores. Capital pays for these machines. The capital resources, the money that they use in the business is used for these machines. Capital also helps to buy milk from farmers and pays the factory workers. So when a person has a business, he has capital, he needs the money. And this money helps to grow. And when they get the money, this money is used to buy the milk from the farmers, to pay the factory workers, to use this money for the production of their business. So with this, so let's read the last part of the summary. Businesses and factories use resources to make and sell products. They use natural, human, and capital resources. And with this, we come to the end of our lesson. Probably when you grow up, one day I may hear that you have become a businessman. You may have a factory of your own, or you may be a businesswoman and you will be having a factory. And I will be proudly saying, oh, that is my students. So with this, we come to the end of our lesson. And I wish you a very happy holiday. Stay at home and be safe. Goodbye. Thank you.